I'll ask you to sit down on your mats. And notice how you feel. You're in your own space, but as soon as you come onto your mat, you could be anywhere in the world. Just giving yourself time, slowing down, taking time, appreciating. Your breath will do the work for you because it instinctively knows what to do. Giving yourself space and time. And it's very difficult to feel under pressure if you have space. Gradually, you'll perceive the breath lowering in the body. So you have space in your head. You've got time to listen. Listening to your body, your breath, your mind. We're about to begin a yin practice, but I firmly believe that if you're coming into a passive practice, you've got to change the energy first. You've got to start from the best possible point with good, positive energy. Motion changes emotion. So with that information, bring yourself into a standing posture. So bring yourself up. And as soon as you take that long exhalation, you feel center, you feel grounded. We're keeping this simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. The important thing is we're all connecting right now. The practice is simple. It's the back bend, forward bend, into the gentle twist. Now, sweep the arms forward and up when you come up. Keep the energy in between the hands, gentle side stretch, and then spread the palm of the hand gently so you feel the energy around the body, and we'll continue with that practice. Let your breath do some of the work. So inhale, gentle back bend. You're just noticing how you feel. And the forward bend. Right hand to left leg. Notice where the hand comes to. Be curious. Follow the arm up. Sweep the energy up and then ease the hip to the side. Keep the head in the space between your arms. Nothing forced, nothing rushed. Slowing down, taking time, appreciating, and feel the lift. So we can all be moving at different times because our breath is different. Your breathing rhythm. The earth has its rhythm. Your body has its own rhythm. So you're changing the energy in the body so that you can come into a quiet, passive practice. But the energy will be good, replacing stale and negative energy with good, strong, positive energy. And notice how you're talking to yourself, because that is important. Nothing forced, nothing rushed. Effortless ease because you're moving in conjunction with your breath. And we're going to do that twice more. So feel the lift, enjoy what you're doing, you'll have more energy. It's becoming familiar now. And the more familiar you are with your practice, the more intuitive you become. Moving in your own space, comfortable in your own body. Notice if your eyes are open or your eyes are closed. You could be anywhere in the world. notice how the body's responding. And then, when you eventually lower the arms down, the body will self-adjust. The breath will ease down. Give yourself time to notice. Notice how you're breathing. Notice how you feel. You're going to bring the thumb and ring finger together. Extend the other fingers. Prithvi Mudra, Earth Mudra. The earth below, the sky above. Feeling connected. As you inhale, draw in Earth's energy in through the soles of the feet, up the body, throat, head, and beyond. Hold with the lungs full until you want to exhale and feel the breath return out through the soles of the feet back to the earth. And just continue, just a few more breaths, the receiving and giving. Feel the exchange as you hold gently with the lungs full. Notice the eyes are soft, cheeks are soft, jaws relaxed. Feel the connection with the mudra. Feel the expansion as you inhale. In your own time, you can let the mudra go, physically let it go, move the fingers, and then bring yourself into a comfortable seated posture. Lots and lots of different postures, so make sure you do feel comfortable and feel the body settle. Let the breath do its work. It has a job to do. How you speak to yourself is important. Think about the word compose. And notice how your eyes may lift. Compose yourself. And notice how the breath eases down in the body. Compose yourself. Composure. Notice how you center. The body reacts to the word, the association. Composure. And now that we've changed the energy, we can begin the yin practice. Working from a position of good, strong, positive energy. Incredibly strong, but incredibly quiet. So change your position and stretch your legs out. And again, you bring yourself back to center. You compose yourself. Notice that. Composure, centering. You're going to bring yourself into Paschimottanasana. Float your arms up and bring yourself into the position. Be curious. Notice where your hands come to. And then float yourself back up again. Remember, the motion can change emotion. It can help with the practice. Floating yourself in and out of the posture so that you can notice. And then when it feels right, hold the posture. But that doesn't mean to say remain still, because maybe you have to move and adjust in order to feel comfortable in the posture. That's what you're doing, not working to exhaust yourself. You're working to feel as comfortable as you can in this posture. Now, remember, you've got options. You can inhale and you can lengthen the spine, lift up and over the hips, navel to thigh, chin to shin, keeping the back really long. That will really stretch the legs, the hamstrings. Or you've got the choice, you can inhale, lengthen the spine, but then round the spine, lift up and over the top of the legs, but round the back and relax your shoulders. You'll feel you're working and lengthening the back more. It's not to say you won't still feel the stretch in the hamstrings. Easing into the posture. What can you do for yourself? It's quietening, but it's only a quietening posture if you can relax into the posture. If I ask you to move into another posture, only do that when it feels right for you. You'll hear my voice, but listen to your own body, your own breath. You're going to come into halasana, the plow posture. Your body may not initially like it. You can bring yourself out of Paschimottanasana into halasana. I'll just move forward slightly to stay in here. Now you can stay with the thighs parallel to the floor. Maybe the hamstrings have been stretched and you want to let the toes come to the floor. Listen to your own body. Know that you can come in and out of the posture if you need to. If it's difficult to get into the posture, sitting and bring yourself down, come into the spinal rolls and have fun with that. Play around with that and don't be too quick. But maybe after a breath or two, you can keep the hips up. But don't put yourself under pressure. So you're leading your own practice. This medium of this class is allowing us to be connected. So listen to your body. Coming in and out. What if your back doesn't initially like it? Warm the back up, warm the spine up, keep it round. And have fun, let the hips lift, and eventually you'll have space and time. Nothing forced. Lovely. Working in your own practice, in your own space. In your own time, bring yourself into Baddha Konasana. And you'll probably want to move, adjusting. Maybe it doesn't feel entirely comfortable to begin with. So what can you do to make yourself feel more comfortable? Listen and take the necessary action. Maybe it involves movement. The motion changes the emotion and maybe you become more relaxed and use your breath. Remember to use what you know. Baddha Konasana. Now, arms aren't required. Are your shoulders relaxing? Notice the power in your breath. What about the balance that we're striving for in everything we do? Can you feel that? Notice the spine rooting down to the earth and powering high up into the sky and beyond to the sun. How does that visualization make you feel? Warm on the inside. Notice the heart center softening. We're going to come into a squat position. So if you're not used to doing this, listen to your body. I'm going to use the backs of my hands. I'm leaning back. I've got space. I can bring the heels onto the floor and I can sit. Now that isn't entirely comfortable. So I'm having to move and adjust. What if your heels don't come onto the floor? Stay up on your toes. You may think, oh, I'm not in such a deep position. You're in much more of a balance than you are with the heels on the floor. So don't underestimate what you're doing. Can you bring the fingertips onto the floor? Can you move and adjust? It's important to feel comfortable. Soften. Can you drop the tailbone down, grounding yourself? Breathe. Use your breath. Your breath wants to help you. Now, as you exhale, soften your heels, even if the heels are not on the floor, soften the heels, and the breath will become much longer. As you soften your heels, soften your self-criticism. That will give you much more energy, much more space. You'll feel lighter. Soften the heels and soften your self-criticism. Now you're going to come from this posture back into Baddha Konasana. So use the backs of your hands. The bottom won't be that far off the floor. Sit the bottom down. Don't worry if it plonks down on the floor. Bring the hands around the toes. Feel the lift in the heart center. Take the breath right down into the hips. So you may not be moving very much, but there's lots of movement. The motion, the internal motion, affecting the emotion. Notice, coming in and out of the posture, does it help with Baddha Konasana? Now you're at an advantage. We're going to do that one more time so you know what is going to happen. So you've got much more control. So take the backs of the hands, lean back, and listen to your body, your breath. Does it help? Can you use the breath? Can you soften? Give yourself space and time. I'm making suggestions, but within what I'm suggesting, you have to take the action. And you're encouraging yourself. You feel the tailbone root down towards the earth, grounding you. Shoulders relax. No tension in your neck or your face. You notice all these things. And you soften your heels. And I don't even have to continue with the affirmation because you're already softening any self-criticism. Lots of space, much more energy. Don't waste your energy. It's finite. Conserve some of the energy. And then bring yourself back into Baddha Konasana. And notice the process. Notice how you really have slowed down. You're taking time. You're noticing there's lots of time for you to self-adjust. But most importantly, if you've worked to come into this posture, take the time to enjoy. Compose yourself enough so that you can enjoy. Notice the energy in the heart center. Be kind whenever you can. Most importantly, be kind to yourself. Help your knees up. And then slide your legs out and do exactly what you need to do. There'll be movement and then you'll feel yourself, the composure. And that lovely feeling of centering. Perfect balance, and that's what we're striving for in everything we do. You're removing distractions, minimizing distractions. You're going to widen the feet now. And notice I'm using upper body strength. It's not entirely comfortable when I first come into it. I know I'm going to be sitting in the posture for a while, so yeah, it's important to feel comfortable. If you didn't do anything else, does that feel good? Composure, centering. Notice how words are really important. They have an effect. Let the fingertips come onto the floor. Now that's your starting point. Be content with that. As you inhale, just lengthen. Feel your heart lift, the chin lift slightly. Lift up and over your hips. Now you'll feel the pull in the inner thigh muscles. And then notice, maybe the fingers can walk forward a little bit. That's your next starting point. Be amazed. On an inhalation, I'm lengthening, the heart's lifting. I'm imagining lifting up and over the hips and I'm softening. And at that point, maybe I can walk the fingers. Maybe it's just the length of a fingernail, but it's progress. So you notice, what if it's really tight? You can rub the legs if you need to, just to try and soften, release, and then come back to the start position. Lifting up and over the hips. If it feels too much, you can narrow the feet slightly, listening to your body. Notice your hands if they're on the floor. You have the habit of spreading your hands. That makes you feel connected. Most people don't spread the hands throughout the day, but that for you is a connection. It's the foundation for lots of postures. Can you imagine your own hand, the palm, very lightly spread? You can feel the energy, and the palm is against the back of your body, in between your shoulder blades. And as you exhale, the natural weight of your arm is encouraging the front of the body closer and closer towards the floor. It may not happen all at once. It's a progressive practice. That's what you want, a progressive practice. It's not competitive, but it is progressive. You want to see results. You want to feel the results. So you have to listen. I don't know how your body feels. What do you have to do for yourself? The only result you'll get, the only progress you'll make is if you can relax into the posture. So develop the art of relaxing. Heads are heavy. Remember, you can keep the spine long or you can round the back. Does that help? Remember the options so that you can use them. Either the long spine coming, you'll really feel the pull, or do you want the back to round? That helps the forehead to come towards the floor. Maybe that's progress. Easing into the position. You're using your breath. In your own time, you're going to slide the hands back. Now, notice how far you've got to come back. Be delighted with that. Can you feel yourself composing, the composure? Breath easing right down. And you've nothing to do apart from listen. Listen and silent have the same letters. You may feel as though you've not done very much. Notice how the energy is changing. Choices. You can remain with the legs in this position. You can bring your left heel in towards the body. Immediately you'll know, is that comfortable? Can you move in any direction you want with the leg in that position? Or maybe you want the heel to come towards the outside of your hip. Now, I'm off balance and my foot is pressing the top of my foot hard against the floor. So I'm going to adjust so that my foot, the foot comes onto the mat, a bit more comfort. I have to use the upper body strength to get the composure back before I can even begin to think about doing anything else. So you've got choices. What's the right one for you? Is it this position? Is it this position? Or is it this position? Because what I'm going to suggest next can be done with the leg in any position. It might be nice. You might think, oh, yeah, well, that looks like the most complicated. What's the point if I'm going to ask you to come into this lovely side stretch, opening up the heart? If this is too much of a distraction, So you're compromising, you're not actually developing your practice. Maybe this one's better, and you think, yeah, that's more familiar, or maybe this does. Bring the back of your right hand onto the floor. So you've made your choice now. Be comfortable with your choice. Encourage. Notice I'm moving my shoulder. The more relaxed my shoulder is, the longer my arm will be. So maybe I can get my hand down towards my foot. Maybe it comes to the ankle, or maybe it's mid-calf. But my heart center is not open. So I want to roll my shoulder back, and then I relax. That arm is nice and long now. So it will help me as I float the arm up, and I bend the elbow and I relax my arm. My wrist is relaxed. So I'm feeling this fabulous pull up the side of the body, that great stretch. Now I'm checking out, can I go further? I'm using the connections. I'm using the elbow or the upper arm against my leg to encourage myself into the side stretch. I'll never go too far because I'm listening. Look up under your arm. Try and take your left elbow back. So you've got that fabulous stretch and the navel is coming up towards the ceiling. So that's how you're talking yourself through the practice. Breathing into the shape. Know that you can come in and out of the posture. Notice that the movement changes the emotion. Maybe you're struggling with it. Maybe it's getting tiring. Maybe the energy needs refresh. So you know how to do that within the time. Come in and out of the posture. You've got time to do it. Don't think it's always worth the effort. Don't think, oh, we're only going to be here for a few breaths more. I'll just stay with it. Don't compromise. Work to get the best result for you. But when it's enough, it will be enough. And you can lower the hand, wait till your shoulder relaxes. So that when you come out, you've got the composure and the breath will come down. Notice that, feel that. It's not to say that you won't move and adjust. It will be subtle now. Notice how powerful the breath is. Notice how far it's coming down in the body. Notice the clarity. But most of all, enjoy. Now, what if you were sitting? I had no adjustment to make because I chose to have my leg out. What if you're sitting in this position? You'll have to move and adjust. Or if you're in this position, you'll have to move. If you're sitting, refresh the posture. You know you're strong. This is a passive practice, but don't ignore your strength. Come to the front of the sitting bones. Can you feel the composure that you're creating? It's a lovely word. Balance, composure. And then whatever you did with the left leg, balance the posture. Work with the foot, right foot, in the same position. Start from your center. Place the back of the left hand onto the floor. Notice your start point. Be content. And then notice the progress that you're making. It's a progressive practice. And you can move the top shoulder. You can feel the stretch. What do you need to do? Maybe you want to come in and out of the posture. If your shoulder feels tight, know that you can move the shoulder. It will change how you feel about the posture. Working in the practice, the motion, the movement. Notice the inner movement, the energy moving, circling. Does this side feel the same as the other? Lovely stretch. Relax shoulder, elbow bent. You're making your arm incredibly heavy when you know you can also make your arms incredibly light. Breathing into the shape. Lovely. Notice your habits. Eyes soft, cheeks soft, jaw relaxed. Maybe you have to notice other habits that you have. minimizing any distractions, removing blockages. I'm going to be here for another few breaths, so make sure you're comfortable. Have the right attitude. Keep the breath going. And then feel yourself come out of the posture. Notice the composure. And be amazed at how long the exhalation has become, giving you lots and lots of time to notice. Composure. No pressures, no demands. Seeing clearly. If you have chosen to have your leg in a position, maybe you've already adjusted because you will be listening to your body. Giving yourself 2 or 3 breaths to enjoy. Notice the energy in the heart center. It's really strong, but incredibly quiet. Not having to prove anything. Composure, centering, grounding. In your own time, just change the position. Just bring the feet together and you'll instinctively do what feels right for you. Bring your hips to the side and bring yourself into a standing posture. And as the breath comes down, feel the composure. That's how you're meant to feel. Feeling good in your own body, feeling comfortable in your own space. Effortless ease. We're going to come into Trikonasana. So widen your feet and create the balance, create the composure. So if you didn't do anything else, this feels good. Turn your right foot parallel to the edge of the mat, ease your left heel. You will have to guide your hips round and you'll settle it. Can you feel the composure? So you're facing me, so you're not to the side. Your hips and shoulders are level, your navel is straight forward. Lovely. That's it. It's worth the effort to make that adjustment. Notice what you're doing for yourself. Release your arms down, and that split second, you know you want your arms long. It will help in this posture. Take your arms out to the side and place the hands on the energy around the body. So you could comfortably stay here for a good number of breaths. Don't just have the arms out. Radiate from the heart center, down through the shoulder. Feel the fluid movement. Now keep the space in your ribcage. Extend and notice where your hand comes to. And then float yourself up. Keep the composure. And then extend, lengthen. And notice where your hand comes to. And do that one more time. Extend. You don't have to overextend. The hand will touch the leg. Notice where it is. And then start to adjust. Now, my hand was coming down towards my foot, but my heart center is closed. So I'm bringing my hand up onto my leg so I can roll my shoulder back, so I can have this hip coming out. So I'm opening the heart center. Let the back of the hand come to the inside of your leg, but use the fingers. The fingers are all engaged. Push away from the leg as you inhale, and you feel the body open. Power the top arm up. Notice when I say power, it's not rigid. I can move my shoulder. Power the arm up. It's fluid movement. Lovely. Try, there's no need to take your arm back off center. Keep it centered because You won't feel, you might think that's opening the heart. It's not. You're putting a strain on your shoulder. Power the arm up, release the other arm down. Get the stretch. It's a passive stretch. Lovely. Keep the breath going. Either look straight ahead or look up to your thumb. You need a focal point. You need focus. Anytime you want to, float yourself up. Bring the energy you've created back to the heart center. Let the feet come forward and notice the composure, the grounding, the stability. Words are important. If I'm using a word that doesn't resonate with you, choose your own words that work for you. Can you feel the heart center? Notice the true center, the energy. You've got a combination of the energy, and yet there's a stillness. You're grounded, you're light. Now you have to create the energy, the right energy. So you may have to move and adjust so that each breath feels like a new beginning. It feels like the first time you come into Trikonasana. Turn your left foot, ease your right heel, guide your hips round, and feel the composure so that you can move in any direction you want. Release the arms. It helps. The more relaxed your shoulders are, the longer the arms become. And then extend. Keep the space in the ribcage. Notice where your hand comes to. And then float yourself up. Send the energy up the left leg. And then extend. The body doesn't collapse. Maybe the hand does come a little bit further down. But the purpose of this posture is to open up the heart center. So don't lose sight of what the point is for this posture. I'm going to start to move and adjust because I know I want to open the heart center. So I'm bringing my hand a little bit higher up the leg. I don't have to take my arm back off center. That's just a distraction. Power the arm up, release the other arm down. Feel the passive stretch. Neck, you can move your head and neck. It's not stuck. Either look straight ahead or look up. Use your points of contact. Imagine the back of the body flat against an imaginary wall. Breathing. How are you talking to yourself? How are you encouraging yourself? And then in your own time, float the body up. Bring the energy back. Feel the connections. And then let the feet come forward. You'll narrow the feet. And then the composure. The balance, the stability, the grounding. So that you're creating clarity. Counter posture is a forward bend. So bring your hands onto your waist. And again, what is it you're doing? The composure. And then you can inhale, you float your arms up, lift up and over the hips. Notice your toes are relaxed. Lift alternate heels. Move the hands around the feet. The motion, the movement changes the emotion. So you feel more relaxed so that when the movement does stop, you are relaxed and you'll get into a deeper forward bend without trying. Lovely. Remember, heads are heavy, back of the neck long. Encourage the crown of the head closer and closer towards the floor. Notice how slowly, how deliberately I'm saying that because I'm giving myself time and I'm not curling the toes up. They're still relaxed. Lovely, lovely, lovely postures. Now feel the body open as you send the energy up. Feel how nice that is. Shoulders will come back and down. The body will self-adjust. And the breath will do the rest of the work, creating the composure. Notice how quiet everything is. And yet, if you needed to, you could move very quickly in any direction. But at this moment in time, you don't have to. But you know you can, if you need to. I'm going to ask you to come into a comfortable seated posture. Or maybe just for the final few minutes, you want to bring yourself down onto your back, massage the back, and then come into the seated posture. I don't know. I'm only making suggestions. You have to take the action. Notice where your awareness is. Is it to Ajna chakra? Just sitting quietly. Or is it to Anahata, the heart center? We need focus. So which one works best for you? Ajna chakra or Anahata? And be aware it can change from practice to practice. Notice you have the I can attitude. Listen and silence. You'll sense the corners of your lips turning up. It feels good. If your eyes are closed, just begin to blink the eyes. What do you see? How do you feel? If you're in the supine position, lying on your back, start to make gentle movements. If you're sitting, make gentle movements. Refresh the seated posture until eventually you're back in your comfortable seated position. Composure. Notice all the lovely combinations, grounded and light. Looking confident, feeling confident. In your own time, let the fingertips come to either side of your hips and notice the effect that has. There'll be a subtle change, either in the solar plexus or heart center. Feeling connected. Our first Zoom practice together. Helping us to stay connected. Gather the energy around the body and bring it to the heart center. Again, feel the connection, just the right amount of pressure. Body, breath, and mind in harmony. Om Shanti. Thank you, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you soon.